For our mission and vision statement, we decided to go with the mission of being a differentiator with product lifestyle focus. We wanted our product to be top notch, high quality, as well as low cost. We wanted to reach every customer possible and have the best product out there. Our main stockholders are first the customers. Without the customers, you don't have a product. So we wanted to please customers, which is why we decided to go, excellent quality, low cost as much as possible. And we had to really work at balancing that. Also, another stockholder are the shareholders. They're very important, as well as the employees and the management. We took stake in our production of the sensors that we produced.
Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good day. I don't know what time it is. It's gonna be when you see this, but how you doing, Professor? That's good. That's good. That you're doing good, man. But I'm doing good too. But anyways, the strategy of our team. Well, first thing we want to do, we divided the components of the Capsim. Basically like R&D, marketing, the finance, and the production tabs. We all divided those between ourselves, and we did that because we felt like it would be best to give everybody equal work, or give everybody a task without trying to overload too much on somebody. And I think that went pretty well. We did pretty good with that. We wanted to, well, not we wanted to, but we did trial and error. It's our first time using Capsim, so we played around with a lot of things. We didn't really know what a lot of things did or how it would really affect. So we really were just trying to mess with the money. Trying to see what would get us out the negatives or make us seem like we're making profit. We also wanted to stay aware of our mission statement. The statement that we wanted to have good quality, longevity, having products that had high value but were cost effective. And just staying on task when, some teammates were unavailable, and just work together as a team to get it done. All right. Next slide. I'll just go right there. Why not? Next slide. Research and development. This is my area, my expertise. As you can see here, we have 3 pictures showing how I changed around the different components of each product. Year 1, we starting out, didn't really know what I was doing, but as you can see here, everything was kind of like, didn't really fit all the criteria yet, but yeah. But before I get into all that, my initial thoughts into the development of our products, I wanted to have our products, fit the expectations of our mission statement, but also exceed that. And I feel like I did a decent job at that. But however, I struggled in the beginning because, like I said, my first time using this simulation, I just didn't really know how to make changes to each product, and I kind of struggled with that in the beginning. I also created a new product in the first year called Dart to fit the ideals of the performance-based criteria. Yeah. And as we went through the rounds, I began to understand more how to, what affected what, and I began to make more drastic changes to try to, make better products. And let's go back to the pictures on the slide. We have year 1, we have the Dart, the product I created that year, newly fresh. We have Days, Dale, Dot, Duck, and Dune. I'm pretty sure, yeah, We had traditional, low end, high end, performance, size. Uh, yeah, but yeah, you can see the changes from year 1 to year 5, and like I said, I made some pretty interesting changes, but also kept it within the criteria of the different criteria. Um, all right, so I also I also have slide 12. Our team dynamic. Well, we met a couple times in the school cafeteria. We met about 3 times, and I feel like that was really the meat of our socialization. We were able to get some work done during those meetings. Even though we had a lot of scheduling conflicts, a lot of people couldn't make it because of prior or things they were going through. Um, and then for each teammate, for me, they said I was consistent and knowledgeable. I was able to guide the team into staying financially sound. Yeah. Marlene was organized with communications. She was the main one trying to, set up the meetings, trying to get us to come together. She made the group chat to get us connected and communicated, and really took on more of a leadership role. Camilla was consistent, and she was very knowledgeable with what she was doing. She handled a lot of the financial tasks, and yeah, she was a big help. Femi also knowledgeable. Right now he's making the YouTube video or thing. He's gonna collab all of these videos together and put them on here. That's pretty, Yep. And then Philip, he made some decent contributions. He attended both of the meetings, 2 out of the 3 meetings we had, and he provided some decent insight. And yeah, he did pretty good. We all did pretty good. But well, that's it for me.
Hi, my name is Femi. I was in charge of the marketing portion for Digby Group. So, for starters, the bar chart and the pie chart that you see at the top, it compiles all the groups, all 6 groups, with Digby Group having the second lowest market share, as we can see in the pie chart. But all the groups in the market share are pretty much even. The bar chart, however, it details the percentage of unit level costs and operating expenses for all 6 groups. And Digby, as you can see with the purple, Digby Group has the lowest depreciation overall out of all 6 groups when it comes to percentage of sales. Now the bottom 2 graphs, or the bottom 2 images, depict the difference between marketing from round 1, the round 1 decision summary, and the round 4 decision summary. So the pricing between rounds 1 and 4 in the marketing sector has increased significantly. You can see the first column 25, and then you jump to round 4, it's 28.50, and it just keeps going up for all the columns throughout from round 1 through round 4. But all other factors like promotion budget, sales budget, and unit costs have remained pretty much consistent, like with little to no change between rounds 1 and 4. With the exception being the last column. In the last column, you could see round 1 decision summary, it's just zeros all throughout. But come round 4 for the marketing decision summary, it's $35. Promotion budget was $1,000. Sales budget was $1,000. Then unit sales forecast was $300. So it went up for the last column.
For slide number 6, we'll be talking about production. According to the decision summary results, as you can see on the slide, I have circled in red the different aspects of production by product. I believe it was simulation 2, we did drop the DART product, so you'll see zeros in that section. The best that we did is days. For production order, there was 1,790, which scored very well. Capacity change was 700, and automation net record was 5.4. work on toward production in the marketing forecast. We set the production schedule at that point because that lets us know how much capacity we will have for production. We adjusted automation as well as capacity. And as you can see to the right of the slides, I just have round one and then the end round so that you can see the progress of both capacity as well as the production itself. So from round one, we went from 4,208 of capacity to, in round five, 4,624 of capacity. So it did increase by about 200 or so. Also, that the production went from round one at 5,300 down to 5,050, which did lower a little bit. As we, understood from the beginning of Capsim project, it's very detailed, and we did a lot of times do trial and error to find out where we were. It was very important to us to stick to the vision and to do well with capacity and production.
Hi, my name is Cami Mendez, and I did the finance part of our group project. For the round one, the company lost $3,383 because on the income statement, the variable costs and the interest costs were too high. However, our operating cash flow was $8,830 thanks to depreciation changes in working capital. Large investments of $21,000 and $300 were covered by financing through $6,000 in stocks, $5,000 long-term debt, and $13,500 there was an increase in current debt. That left the company total with $15,461 at the end of the first round. For the second round, we improved a lot because our performance, we moved from a net loss to a net profit of $1,346. Operating efficiency increased as evidenced by a higher EBIT and lower interest expense. The company generated strong positive operating cash flow, and we used excess cash to retire short-term debt. That just basically improved our liquidity and it reduced a lot of leverage. Although our cash did decline slightly, our company did maintain a strong cash position and low inventory levels, and it was just better than the first round. For the third round, our company achieved really strong sales and the growth, and it remained pretty profitable as well. However, we did increase capital investment and we did rely on some short-term debt, which it did kind of put us at a financial risk. Although operating cash flow remains strong and inventory management it improved from zero carryover, our liquidity did tighten due to a higher current debt that we had to take out. The Digby group maintained sufficient cash and avoided emergency financing, but leverage levels increased, pressuring interest expenses. For the fourth round, we achieved the highest profit that we did the whole semester. It was driven by cost efficiency and significantly lower interest expense. The company did strengthen its financial position by selling excess plant capacity and aggressively retired short-term debt as well. This resulted in a very strong cash flow and improved liquidity a lot. We remained with zero inventory and avoided emergency financing, which was our biggest goal. And overall, we reduced financial risk. For the fifth round, we continued to strengthen our company's financial health. Our net worth improved from $6,888 due to controlled SG&A and operational efficiency. The cash flow from operations did remain positive, allowing the company to retire with $13,900 in current debt. No new planned investments were made, and the ending cash was slight to $38,715. But overall, our financial risk decreased with a lower debt ratio and zero inventory. In the next slide, I made a table of all the 5 rounds, and it just shows here how our sales grew from round 1 to round 3, and then it shows how we stabilized a lot. The net profit did turn positive in round 2, and then it steadily increased. The operating cash, it was positive for every round, but then as we go down, it steadily increased as well. Our ending cash, there was a big jump in round 3 for that, but then it became stable. Our total debt, it was just steadily reduced each round, and that just led us to have a pretty good financial management. And for the inventory, it was fully optimized in round 3. We kept it at $0, and there was no cash tied up at the end. All right, and then now we have the best decisions that we took along this project. I think some of the best decisions is that we took out loans earlier, and we were able to maintain a positive financial standing. If we didn't take that, we would have probably had to take out a emergency loan out, and that is just not what we wanted. We also met in person, and we were able to communicate clearly. That was really easy and good for us to do. I'm glad we all communicated well, and we all replied to each other's texts and stuff, so there was no miscommunication on that part. We did have some trial and error with the choices given to remain in the positive financial standings, but then, as I said earlier before, we did end up getting on a good financial ending, thankfully. And then we were also able to stay on task of the mission and also the vision for the quality and value of our customers.
In terms of our worst decisions, we just made things that we could have improved upon to make our simulation better. So a few of those things include creating a brand new product that was costly and unable to be sold in the first 2 years because of development. So what we mean by this is, by creating a new product, we were not exactly in the best standing by doing that, and it wasn't like developed properly in order to be like sold how we wanted it to. For the second point, not checking our statements after each round to see our standings and creating a thorough plan to improve. So just way by schedule, it was just kind of hard to get everybody together, but we definitely should have, like after each round, we definitely should have been seeing what we did good, seeing what we did bad, and just mixing it together to see what we could do better for the next round, because that's no point in the simulation. Lacking automation in production to be able to cut the cost of not having workers. So that's basically just not having enough automated things and paying like workers too much, because when you like have things that you can't have automated, you don't have to pay like a worker to do it. So that way it saves the company money, and that way the company can invest money in different things or different aspects of the company to make it better overall. And then the last thing we didn't do so great was not properly marketing our best products so that we would have more sales. But marketing is just basically just advertising, promoting the product, getting it out there. Just make sure that people see it. If people don't see it, they can't buy it or like give into our service or anything like that. So if we market it a little bit better, we definitely probably would have more sales, more money in our pocket, more revenue for the company.
For slide number 11, just a few tips or advice for future students. The first thing I would really suggest is to make sure you read as many of the documents and the help documents and PDFs that are uploaded in Capsim. They will be very helpful and informational, since it is such a detailed simulation and program, as well as the videos that are uploaded. They're very helpful, the YouTube videos. They're very informative. The next piece of advice would be to check all the reports at the end of each round to kind of get a feel of your progress as you go, and you'll have a better understanding by the time you get to the end. Uh, Lastly, just two little tips as far as teamwork. Um, Make sure you know that the people who are stronger in certain areas, let them take that lead, and then the people who are stronger in other areas, the same will work. So teamwork is very, very important. And along with that said, keeping communications open and constant. Be consistent. Meet probably once a week or whatever. Have a scheduled meeting time and keep to that. So if you keep to those tips, hopefully that will make you very successful in the future.
So lastly, in terms of our team dynamic, we weren't able to meet that many, or I wasn't able to meet that many times, but they still met and did what they needed to do. They met in the cafeteria 3 times. We communicated via text and email. We had a group chat. So in terms of individual contributors, Ryan was consistent, knowledgeable, and he guided the team mainly. Marlene was like the communication leader. She like was texting everybody, getting everything set up, all the meetings set up. Camilla, she was like consistent and knowledgeable as well. I think she did the financial part. Me, I'm editing this video that you're watching right now, like the final video. Everyone sent it to me, and I'm like editing it together so we can upload it. And then Philip, he also attended a few meetings as well.